The other bizarre thing that happened this weekend, or when the weekend started on Friday, was the more full picture that we saw of the attack on Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband. And again, not going to play the tape, the brutal attack, the hammer attack on the nearly octogenarian Paul Pelosi by David DePape. And David DePape, the day that the footage was released, made a phone call to a reporter at KTVU and wanted to say sorry. Now, I'm going to read how KTVU categorized the call. And then I'm going to play the call, the segment of the call that they've made public. And it is remarkable that the conspiracy theories that were promoted by people like Megyn Kelly and elsewhere, that there was all kinds of conspiracies surrounding the relationship that Paul Pelosi had with this guy, which didn't exist. And then when we see it, rather than have a mea culpa moment, rather than them come out and say, oh, we're really sorry, we were wrong. Of course, that's not what they do. But this call is remarkable because it leads to, again, when Republicans and conservatives use the words talking about liberty and talking about tyranny, they do so knowing that it doesn't just happen in a vacuum. They do so knowing that people like David DePape and others who exert violence in some attempts to overthrow the government or make a change, they know that their words don't go forth void. That there is an end game, and some people are going to latch on to that language, to that rhetoric, and make violence happen. Here's the description from KTVU. David DePape called the KTVU newsroom this afternoon and told our reporter he had an important message. He said he attacked Paul Pelosi because people's individual liberties are under attack. In the chilling call, he apologized for not going further. The call came on the same day of the video of the infamous hammer attack on Paul Pelosi was released. Here is that excerpt from the call, and then I want to talk about that rhetoric once again.
Okay, so what do you want to say? Because as you know, they released the video earlier today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. What did you want? Thank you for calling me. What did you want? To tell me?
Now that you all have seen the body cam footage, I have an important message for everyone in America. You're welcome. Freedom of liberty isn't dying, it's being killed, systematically and deliberately. The people killing it have names and addresses. So I got their names and addresses so I could pay them a little visit and have a heart-to-heart chat about their bad behavior. The tree of liberty needs watering. You need men of valor, patriots willing to put their own lives on the line to stand in opposition to tyranny. I would also like to apologize. I want to apologize to everyone. I messed up. What I did was really bad. I'm so sorry I didn't get more of them. It's my own fault. No one else is to blame. I should have come better prepared. I spent all my time exposing government corruption online, only to have them silence my freedom of speech as quickly as they could. They circumvented the Constitution and private industry. When the ruling class outsources the repression of your civil rights to private industry, it's called fascism. I have a lot more to say. I had a website of over 300 pages. That's 300 pages of stuff they don't want you to hear. I'm in the process of trying to set up a new site out of the reach of tyrannical global homo fascists and their internet censors.
Many of you know I grew up in a white Christian nationalist household. That was my faith tradition. I grew up in northern Idaho amidst separatist types, militia type people. At the very least, people who admired the militiamen. And this language was all over the place growing up. And that line there that you might not be familiar with, when him talking about the tree of liberty needs watering. There's a quote somewhere about the tree of liberty needing watered by the blood of patriots. And he's referring there to, he didn't go far enough. He didn't attack or kidnap, which was his plan, Nancy Pelosi, more. He should have done more people. He should have attacked more people. And for him, this is the watering of the tree of liberty, giving up his freedom to a larger cause. And this language that Republicans use, that conservatives use, the Ted Cruzes, the Matt Gaetzes, the Paul Gosars, the entire Freedom Caucus, they all talk like this. And they know what the result is, that it's going to whip up a certain percentage of the audience, of their fan base in the cult, who are going to take matters into their own hands. They're not going to sit idly by while their country is being destroyed. They're going to do something about it. Of course, I say country being destroyed tongue in cheek, because that is not at all what's happening. They have been convinced of election fraud on a wide, conspiracy-laden basis. And if your country is being taken from you, if it's being invaded at the southern border and nothing's being done, you take matters into your own hands. Or at least they do. This is all dangerous. But you're not going to see Republicans change their messaging. You're not going to see them change their ways because it works for them. The results don't matter to them. The violence that is brought upon innocent people doesn't matter to them. The insurrections that have happened in the past and that may come to pass again don't matter to Republicans. They don't matter, because power is what matters. As long as they stay in office, as long as they're able to try to implement and continue to implement a usurpation of our constitutional rights, the women's right to choose, marriage equality, a host of other civil liberty issues, they're going to keep at it. It is time for America and well-intended, country-loving liberals to swarm the polls, because the only way that this is going to change is through activism and organization, to overwhelm them at the polling station. That is what it's going to do. Because we are obviously not going to be using the same violence-inducing tactics that they do.
One of our sponsors today is Fume. Fume is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us, including ones that harm our health. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors. Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile with an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap that's fun to fidget with. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy or even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who have successfully switched when other solutions didn't work. Head to tryfume.com and use the code PACMAN to get 10% off today when you get the Journey Pack, which comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume. The link is down below.